Hi, I'm Victoria Bragg.
And I'm Angie Nanthavong, and we are the owners of Sunrise Bookkeeping Services.
We're here today because we wanted you to get to know us a little better. We opened up our bookkeeping business about 2.5 years ago. We're going on 3 now. We were just discussing this before we started videoing. And we are kind of on a mission. We're on a mission to be something above and beyond what normal bookkeepers do. So we wanted you to see our faces. We wanted you to get to know us a little better before we actually started handling your money, because we like to handle your money. But we really do. That is part of, but that's what bookkeepers do, right? So Sunrise Bookkeeping, we have tagged our bottom line as integrity is our bottom line. Let's talk a little bit about integrity before we go into our actual journeys. The meaning of integrity is truth and morals, and how do we handle our businesses. And I believe that's really a place in business, especially small business right now, especially large business, let's just say business across the board, that is lacking in integrity. So we're on a mission to change some things, but to do that, we wanted to give you 5 minutes of who we are and kind of us personally. So Angie, can you tell us a little bit about your job experience, your journey, how you got here?
Yes. So I have a business degree from the University of Fort Smith, and I have had the privilege of working alongside a lot of successful small business owners and entrepreneurs for the last 20 years. And so I've been surrounded in that business world.
People aren't going to believe it when you say the last 20 years, because you look fabulous.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Mention one of those small entrepreneurs that made such an impact on you and me, because we want to give her honorable mention today.
That would be Sarah Adams Matoza.
Yeah, Sarah owns the shops at Brick City. She's been very influential in not just with us, but many small business owners. So she definitely deserves honorable mention for what we're doing today, because I feel like she not only grew you up,
she did.
She grew me up too.
And I have been with her since I was 16 years old. So
I was actually keeping books as a contract bookkeeper, and we'll kind of intermingle some of my job experience along with yours. But as a contract bookkeeper for several years, when the paths of Angie and I actually crossed, and she was an office manager at the shops at Brick City, and eventually my vision for my business moved on. So I remember standing in the office at the shops at Brick City and just mentioning it to you. Would you like to be a bookkeeper? Because you were raising your children, which you still are, and looking for a different schedule, not that 8 to 5. So you decided to train.
It gave me the opportunity to stay at home with my kids and pick them up from school. So it was a very
good move.
Yes.
It was a good move for you.
Thank you.
I know you've enjoyed it a lot, or at least you've said you have.
I do.
And so you continue to stay at the shops, and as well as pick up other accounts that came along.
Yeah.
And contract. And then from there, I know one of the things Angie has mentioned so many times to me is in fact, I've caught you here so many times. Oh, I'm at the volleyball game.
Yes.
Or I'm at the baseball game. And that blesses me to see a job in this time where people can go enjoy their families.
Absolutely.
Which kind of goes back to what Sunrise and their mission is. We have, at this point, we've employed 3 other bookkeepers besides us, and everybody are mothers.
Yes.
Right? And they get to stay home, and we're building our business larger so that we can continue to sow into those type of employees, because that means a lot to me. I am obviously the senior of all of you. I have I want to say 30 years. My track of administrative and bookkeeping goes clear back to H&R Block. Wow. I know. You even know what H&R Block is? Is H&R Block still out there? Do we know? I don't know. But yeah, my aunt, gosh, honorable mention again, Aunt Tootsie. She is in her 80s right now, but she was one of the big points of influence for me. She sewed into my business world. And she pretty much just said, I was 16 years old. She said, I'm giving you a job for the summer. You need this. I'm like, okay. So I helped her do taxes, and she paid me a little wage to do that, and often running with the bookkeeping and that
That's where it all started.
That's where it all started. So years later, then I was punching the 8 to 5 and miserable. I am not a good clock puncher at all. Never have been, never will be. A big part of my job experience does include banking and finance. Learned so much there. I was still having to punch the clock, but anyway, that was a different season. But in 2013, I really was tired of punching the clock. So I was looking for something else to do, and that's how I got into contract bookkeeping. And honestly, it just kind of walked up to my door and presented itself. And I thought, I'll do that. And I was already trained in QuickBooks, so I decided to make that for my profession.
And you were a huge mentor to me because you taught me everything.
Right?
You really did.
We walked from the shops at Brick City, you being the office manager, and then you stepped into that place of being the bookkeeper. So fast forward to 2000, and you said October of 21 or December of 21.
December of 21.
Is when, but that's not really when. I'm thinking October, because October was when I had this grand idea, and I have a lot of grand ideas.
You do.
Angie is my balance. We'll just say that, because if it weren't for her, we would be out there like squirrels running around doing everything that come into my mind. But I had an idea to just incorporate. Now, we're on the heels of 2020. We're on the heels of 2020. A lot of businesses have now moved their businesses in-house, and they're online. And gosh, I wrote this down, so I want to look at it right quick, because from 2020 to 2021, there was more than like a 48% increase of new businesses coming on board. Now, a lot of that had to do with the stimulus money and everything that they pumped out through COVID. But that wasn't really our reason for incorporating. Our reason for incorporating was, I felt like we could be a much stronger force when the two of us combined, because we're not only friends, I feel like we're almost family.
We are.
And, I was there when Angie had her second baby, and while she was working as an office manager, and watching her work these hours and everything. But then you became a stellar bookkeeper.
Thanks to you.
Well, thank you for that. But I believe, and the knowledge and I know your business degree plays a lot into this. I, unlike her, do not have that business degree. I've got the degree of hard knocks, the ones where you work through the years of your own personal experience, and you learn the hard way. But, I have felt like right now in this season of my life, and I've mentioned it to you and everybody around me, there's a real convergence of wisdom and knowledge that have come together, and passion for the small business owner right now. So Sunrise Bookkeeping, along with integrity being our bottom line, our mission being your business, the businesses that we have on board, which our portfolio right now probably runs 15 to 17 businesses, I believe. And we have tried to scale at a moderate pace, because we don't want you to just hand us your books and us do your numbers for you. Our mission is to get to know you, get to know your business, and help you scale, because we have been there and we are there, and we're honestly trying to scale our own business. But we want to bring back that thing that I feel like has gotten lost through technology. A lot of the reason is technology, and a lot of the reason is because our lives are so fast-paced. We have lost just communication with each other. And I can honestly say that when we incorporated and we brought in our businesses that we were both helping and contracting with, we have real relationships with all those people.
We do. We've been, very fortunate to have some amazing clients.
It is great, isn't it? I mean, these are clients we like to take out to eat, and we know all about their families, and we know them really well. And not only do we know them, but we have such a love for their businesses. How many nights do you stay up thinking about your businesses that you're working on because you're working through a tight spot, or you want them to, they're trying to make decisions, so you're right in there making those decisions with them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So you will see us again. We're going to do some more segments on just what's happening in the bookkeeping and finance world right now that we know, so we can drop you a few nuggets of education that will help you, and we'll also tell you how to get a hold of us and for a free consultation.